Good afternoon, and welcome to this week's Foster's Folklore Friday. This week, we are going to investigate the Japanese storm god, Susanoo. Susanoo is the son of Izanami and Uzanami, the gods and goddesses who created Japan and in Japanese folklore the world. He is the younger brother of Amaterasu, who is the sun goddess. Now, the thing that we have to understand about Susanoo is that he is destructive. He's a trickster. He's associated with storms, the wind, and the sea, which makes a lot of sense when you think about where the Japanese are in the world. They're on an archipelago, and it makes sense that their destructive god would be associated with storms. But the thing about Susanoo is that he actually goes through a story of fighting, of destruction, and then ultimately saving somebody's life. Now, at first, Susanoo and Amaterasu ruled the Takama-no-Hara. Now, I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names, but the Takama-no-Hara is the high celestial plane. Amaterasu and Susanoo were the rulers of this area, and one day, Susanoo went on a rampage, destroying forests and mountains. He was killing inhabitants down on Earth. And because of this, Amaterasu had to banish her brother from heaven, essentially. Well, on his way out, he did the same thing. He was destroying forests, he was destroying plains, he was destroying rice fields. And when Amaterasu came and talked to him about it, he said, "Oh, dear sister, I just wanted to call you from the palace and to say goodbye." Now, Amaterasu didn't trust her brother, because this is exactly how he acted all the time. And so she said, "Well, how can I know that I can trust you?" And he said, "Well, give me your necklace, and if I can create 5 new male deities with your necklace, then you will know that I am being honest, and it'll all be okay." Well, Amaterasu took on that bet, and she handed him her 500 jewel necklace, and he ate the necklace, chewed it up, and spat it back out in a fine mist. And out of that fine mist, 5 new male deities were born. Now, it is said that in lore that these deities were the ancestors of Japanese nobility. However, being so excited that he won his challenge with his sister, he again started to destroy things, and as Amaterasu was going back to the palace, he accidentally threw one of her favorite horses. He was so happy, wasn't paying attention, he threw her favorite horse. So now he was no longer just banished from heaven, he was exiled from heaven, sent down to earth to live amongst the mortals. During this time, Susanoo landed at Torikami, in the province of Izumo. In this area, he met an older man, an older woman, and a beautiful young woman. And they were crying. And Susanoo, not knowing what was going on, came up and asked them, "Why do you cry?" And the older gentleman told him, every year, an 8-headed serpent, the Yamato-no-Orochi, comes to our village and eats one of my daughters. This is our last daughter. Seeing this family in distress, Susanoo told them, "I will take care of this. Do not worry." And so he devised a plan. He created a potion, and he placed 8 bottles of the potion at the 8 entrances to their house. And he waited for the serpent. That night, Yamato-no-Orochi came down the river. Now, this is a massive serpent, 8 heads. It's taking up this huge river, and it's just coiling around one another. Fire spitting from the heads that are above the water, taking up the mountainside, destroying the trees as it's going. And it came to the house, and it stopped, and it smelled the potion. And each of the heads went to a different part of the potion, drank it, and fell asleep. Susanoo, very, very happy with himself, went ahead, talking about how clever he was, chopped off each of the heads of Yamato-no-Orochi, killing the serpent, and impressing the family that he just saved. However, he wasn't done. He decided that he knew there was something inside of this serpent. So he cut open the creature's belly, and he discovered a special sword, the Kusanagi, or the grass cutter, said to be so sharp that one swing of it would be able to slice all of the grass in front of you for a mile. Or at least that's what I hear. So, taking this weapon, he decides to go back to heaven, talk to his sister Amaterasu, and give her this sword as a peace offering, to tell her, I am sorry, I've learned my lesson. And Amaterasu took the weapon and said, I forgive you, brother. Come back and live with your family again. Amaterasu would then take that sword and give it to her grandson, Ninigi, who was the first ancestor of the Japanese imperial family. It would then later become a part of the imperial regalia, preserved in the temple and kept for future generations to hold and wield when needed. Now, this is a really cool story. A lot of Japanese folklore that I have read, at least, is very short. This one's pretty cool because it has a character that is banished for his evil ways. He learns that he can be better. He defeats a giant monster, gets a pretty cool sword out of the deal, and gets to go home. I think that's one of those big things that even if you do something terrible, it may not be slaying a giant snake, but as long as you can turn your ways around, because after that day, yeah, Susanoo still had, his bouts of anger and whatnot, but after that day, they really kind of calmed down. So I think that's a good lesson to learn, is that we look at the mistakes we make, we fix those mistakes, and we go on a journey to become better. But that's this week's folklore. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've got any ideas of where we should go next week, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.